Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sorry, I was outside a little late.
Yes, we are late. Very sorry. We have to apologize our
Yeah.
friends who are waiting here for us.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi kulli wa sahbihi kulli ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. We're approaching toward the very end of our journey in Ramadan, but inshallah we'll continue after Ramadan. So, as we're trying to delve into the ocean of wisdom from the Quran, and so we have, alhamdulillah, gained a lot. And particularly as we study the Quran within certain principles through a certain lens and perspective, so we gain much more benefit. Now, what we have been covering is essentially to understand which kind of book the Quran is. And in this regard, and as we look at the wording, the language, and the overall message of Quran and try to understand each verse, so we find out there's a very deep meaning. Unfortunately, that sometimes as we read them, that we understand based on our own narrow understanding rather than going into the Quranic context and try to get the true message of Quran. And I think what we gain in this program is to see how we can unearth this treasure and understand the deep meaning behind that. The subject that we're covering in last 2 days is about the creators, in a way that how the Quran explain the connection between the creation and creator. And in this regard, that we mentioned that the plots that we see in a modern time is to disconnect the creator from creation and explain the creation without the creator by ascribing the work of creator to material causes, laws, nature, chance, and that we call this as the greatest plot. Perhaps we need to unearth and understand and then try to see how the Quran correct this view and tell us the connection between the creator and creation. So in this regard, we mentioned that it's not that God create the universe and set the laws and rules and it's like an automated system. Now the Quran speaks about God who is in charge of everything, who does everything himself through his own power, will, and knowledge. So, and in this regard, that when we pay attention to the verses, we find out that the Quran is attracting our attention to the dynamic creation that happen everywhere, every moment, at every level. And as soon as we see the creation, that leads to the creator, because the act of creation, khalq, is connected to the entire universe, and the one who sustained the whole universe can only be the one who creates a small things and events within the universe. So that's really that has been our subjects, and we covered some verses on that. We had, I think, 2 more verses on this. There are many verses in the Quran on this, and actually we can spend like hours on this, but we just, as an example, we'll just mention 2 more perhaps, and inshallah, we'll move to another categories of how we define the Quran.
Yeah.
Let's start, inshallah.
So, thank you. So the Quran said, we mentioned how we should understand that the Quran speaks in a way that Allah deals with non-believers, and Allah is going to really punish the non-believers or grant great pleasure for the believers. This is not an information only, what Allah knows, what Allah is going to do. This is a message for us, so that we said, oh, okay, That's Allah is telling me this. Why does He tell me this? He is going to reward the believers, for example, with paradise. Why does He tell me this? So we should question this when understand that how the Quran describes paradise, and He says this is for the believers. I would say uh, there is a connection between belief and the reward with paradise. It means there is a connection, belief and parasitical life in this world. Can I really have this? For example, let me experience. The universe is meaningless as the materialist system. How do I feel? How can I evaluate my life? And if I accept that or understand that universe is meaningful, yes, it is meaningful. If I confirm it and act accordingly, how do I feel? Believing in the Creator as to be the absolute infinite being, then I say, okay, all my expectations can only be satisfied by this Creator, this one. So He is inviting me to acknowledge Him and live accordingly, knowing that they are created by, they are provided, created by the creator of the universe, and all my expectations are also created by the creator of the universe. So rather than, uh, we said one of the very fundamental principles of reading the Quran, we cannot read the Quran as a book of information. No, we have to read the Quran as a book of guidance. If there is an information, as we read in this ayah, Surah Nisa, 108th ayah, Allah says, unbelievers are hiding their plots, but I know them. That is, well, okay, Allah knows their plotting. We discussed this. Why does He tell me this? This is an information. There must be a purpose. So I have to say, we said, we have to think that this information is telling me something that I have a duty, uh, responsibility. I have to be aware that the plot is going on against the reality by those people who deny the reality, and Allah knows it, Allah is aware of it. If He knows it, if He is aware of it, He must provide the facilities, means for me to defend my reality, the truth that I learn from the Quran, with these evidences. So we are now, we have been reading the evidence. How can I defend against disbelievers' plots? Nowadays, the disbeliever's plot is to present, to capture the universe and study it from their perspective and say that there's no creator. Look, this is the plot of our age. Quran responds to this and provides the answer to us. Here is the answer. We studied yesterday this verse from the, no, this one. Yeah, this verse, uh, 23rd, believers, the Mu'minun, uh, Surah 12, 13, and 14th ayat. And then we went to Al-Araf 54th ayah, how the answer is provided against this plot and fight back. How are we going to fight back? With weapons? No, with ideas. first, because materialist, secularist idea must be answered back with a satisfactory answer. If someone says, I deny God, I don't believe in God, I cannot defend this uh, against this claim by fighting him, killing him. It is not the answer. The challenge, the plot is ideological plot. The answer must be on the same level, ideological. Ideology, our friends shouldn't misunderstand. Idea, knowledge, claiming this, and I have to respond back to it. So we studied all this verse uh, yesterday, Furqan second. Now we didn't study this one. Shall we
Yeah.
continue now?
May I add one point before you move to the Zaya? I think what you're saying is really essential to understand. The Quran is calling for action, is not information. It's very sad to see that, most people look at the Quran not as practical guide to do something. They look some things as maybe more mysterious, historical. Like those days, one dua I'm hearing that I was like other day at the mosque that the Imam was making dua and saying, "Oh Allah, as you send the bird with the stones that destroy the Babel, so those birds, send it now to destroy our enemies." I was like, you can wait, you wait more. If you understand the Quran and Surah Al-Fil in this way, as if I'm gonna go and make dua and then Allah gonna send the bird, and that's how I'm gonna defend myself against my enemy. I say you gotta wait more. So I think that is, in a way, once you look at the Quran very literally and don't really get those ayah as in terms of its universal message to you, and I think you're in trouble. And that's, I see, that's why we have all kind of trouble in the Muslim world. So we're not really taking Quran as we're supposed to be and driving the message and convey to our life. We're just looking as a storybook with manaqib, or a storybook with some, maybe we're going to make dua, some amazing things going to happen. But it doesn't say anything about my life today, what I should do. So that is, I think this part is, I feel really bad. I mean, they're crying for the birds to come and to save them. I say, you wait more. I don't really see that's going to happen.
Muslim world, Dr. Nejati, you reminded me some the very sad reality that we are not aware of it. Muslim world was undergone a colonialist period very recently, almost 19th, end of 19th century, early 20th century. Almost all, not all, almost all of the Muslim world were under Western colonizers. And what happened? The people sincerely, Muslims sincerely united and fought against the colonialists and chased them away. Okay, they went back, but they left their culture there and they started bombarding the Muslim world with their ideologies, their values of civilization. Now, as we are fighting, let's say, as much as we could, 5D dimensions and Islam, thinking and Islam from within. As far as you and your 5D thinking group and as Islam from within thinking group, trying to defend this vicious interpretation of the world, and especially living beings, that they are evolving by themselves. And all the Muslim world, I don't think there is an exception. I have never heard any there is exception. If you, Dr. Nijati, heard that there is an exception, teaches evolution theory to our generation. That's really saddening me badly. Paying money to them. The university in America opens an branch in Dubai, charges the same amount of fees as they do in America. The life standard is completely different from there. And they teach this, and Muslims are paying fees to them, and as if paying, go and poison my child. Can you imagine this crazy? Which colonization method was more influential? We have to wake up. We have to do something. Physical colonization, they rebel. But ideological colonization, we swallow it. We swallow it. It's very sad. But the Quran is giving us a perfect guidance. Many ayat saying that, look, I am teaching you, the universe is functioning in this way. I am showing you the way that you have to utilize this universe and defend against this secret plot. Without saying anything, you are a nice man, come and I'll give you a degree that you can get a good job, and the future will be bright for you. You will entertain your life, and injecting atheistic interpretation of the universe in many aspects. We swallow it. We pay for it. How crazy it is. In order to save our worldly life in this life, our life in this world, for let's say 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, comfortable life on earth, but our eternal life is destroyed. We lost in this way. We lose our eternal life for the sake of and for income, some income for our bread. That is, we have to wake up. That is, we have to. Let's read what the Quran teaches us. Bismillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
ذلكم الله ربكم لا إله إلا هو خالق كل شيء فاعبدوه وهو على كل شيء وكيل.
Oh, am I wrong? Yeah. Bismillah. This is God, your Lord. There is no God but Him, the creator of all things. Look, He is describing, God is describing. La ilaha illahu. We always say, La ilaha illahu. There is no God. But God says, when you say La ilaha illahu, that there is no God but He, it is translated in this way. He says, Huwa, you should be aware what are you saying. La ilaha illahu. Huwa khaliqu kulli shay. He is the creator of all things. Now, emphasizes kulli shay. Now, kulli shay, not all the talking about all of them together, no. Each and every being in existence. Kulli shay means, because this structure is interesting. When you say kul, it means whole, but shay in each being. That is what we are missing. We say universe is created by God. Of course. I mean, how come that the universe exists by itself? How else you can interpret it or understand its existence? Impossible. And how about each being? Shay'in, each being evolving by itself. Allah created everything, but the things are improving, developing themselves, adaptation, lots of baseless claims. The things are created in the best way, and that is why when we say La ilaha illahu, there is no God, but only He, the absolute being, but everything is created by Him. This is the emphasis of the Quran. The Quran showing us. So worship Him. Now, we usually, general culture I'm talking about, not our friends here, sisters, brothers here doing this, inshallah. That's why they are here, not to fall in this category. So we worship Allah as the creator of everything. It is just a generalization, but when it comes to each being at every moment, we think it is happening by itself. We cannot really see that. Let me say, for example, okay, I am cooking, so I put my ingredients in the pot and put it on the fire. Now, fire is going to warm it and cook it, I think. But when I put on the fire, I don't, Ya Rab, this fire doesn't know anything. It is employed by you. You created it, and you are creating it. We don't think that in the each being. So, He is وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ وَكِيلٌ. He is in charge of everything. كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. We have to, I don't know, it came to my mind now, how many times the Quran repeats كُلِّ شَيْءٍ? Any guess, Dr. Nazati?
I don't know.
Hundreds?
Many. It's very, very, very common phrase that we read in the Quran, actually.
كُلِّ شَيْءٍ.
كل شيء.
كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Somebody may count it. It means each and every being altogether, with no exception. It's a very interesting term that the Quran uses. Okay, we continue, inshallah.
May I do some comment on this? This is a beautiful ayah. I think it's obviously, when we can look at even the relationship of ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ. Now, Rabb is interesting. It starts by saying Rabbukum. Basically means maybe the starting point is to see who is the one who sustains you, who is the one who feeds you, who is the one who make your food to be digested. So to see the creator in your own life, it seems like the starting point here. And therefore it says, ذَلِكُمُ اللَّهُ رَبُّكُمْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ خَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Now, the interesting, as you mentioned, we say خَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. I think there are two things here. One is to see how everything is khalq. The example you mentioned when you are cracking an egg and and when you put it in on the oven, if you think the egg is going to, with the heat, turn to it is going to cooked, then I think you don't see the khalq. What I look at it, I say the egg, when you put it before cooked, is something else. Once it's cooked is another things. Cooked egg is new creation, is not causation caused by the fire. Is it something new because the color changed, the flavor, the taste change? Where did it come from? Does it come from fire? No. It's actually that is you boil, it creates you a different type of taste. You a fried egg, it give you different type of taste. That is also a new creation, and I think in a way that if we look at everything as a form of creation, that we're going to see the sign of creator everywhere. Therefore, here it says, وَخَالِقُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Now, فَعْبُدُهُ, you see, it seems like ibadah being abd, ubudiyah, and rububiyah, and khalq are all very connected. And as you mentioned before, fa is here as a result of since he's the Rabb of everything, since he's Khaliq of everything, therefore you need to submit to him. You need to go to him. You need to ask from him. You need to be aware of your dependency on him. So therefore, fa'budu ibadah is not like you serve God. Ibadah, you understand the reality that it depends on God. You understand that he is the one who sustains you. It's really understanding your reality and expressing that, say, oh Allah, Anta Rabbi wa ana al-abd. You are the Rabb and I am the Abd and I am the one sustained by you. So I think even the way we define our Buddhiyah, it's really just take a form as if, we make certain zikr as a certain duty, and this is an ubudiyah. No, the ubudiyah is a realization and submission based on this realization. And I think this ayah put it in very beautiful way. And then when in add with or ala kulli shayin wakil, in a way I feel that tawakkul come here. That means as you see your need and afraid what's going to happen next moment, how you're going to feed yourself next time, says don't worry. Make tawakkul to him because he is in charge of everything. So I see like, the rububiyah, ubudiyah, tawakkul is all are linked in an elegant way in this beautiful ayah. It's really amazing.
It's, I am listening to you say that Dr. Najati lost himself in the beauty of ayah. Every ayah is like this. We can spend hours. And if you go into details of each, وَهُوَ عَلَى, not as you said, فَعْبُدُوا, but وَهُوَ, well, all meanings, with the layers of meanings within each other. Endless, like the universe. There is a salawat, this is beautiful, اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد بعدد ذرات الكائنات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد. Everybody knows what it means, salawat. I am happy with his message, then I appreciate him, and please Allah, be happy with him as well. He carried this message to me. بعدد ذرات الكائنات, because with the number of the particles of universe. Why? Every particle becomes meaningful with his message. That is why I am not seeing one particle which is meaningless and puts me in a trouble. What is it? No, with no exception. But وَمُرَكَّبَاتِهَا, and the compositions of it. With the particles, atoms are made. With the atoms, molecules are made. With the molecules, cells and other elements, and go into galaxies. layer by layer, layer by layer. Each murakkabat, each composition, layer meaningful. Only with the message that we receive from the Quran through the Prophet Muhammad والسلام. When we say, I mentioned the name of Muhammad and say, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. This mindless salawat is a little bit, really irritates me. What are you saying? What are you happy with the message that the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam brought? So every piece of the universe, every composite level, layer of the universe, and some people even say, وَمَلَائِكَتِهَا, and the angels, that angelic side of everything declares at each action, particles are used or created in such a way to make atoms or molecules. Now, this action declares that only the one who created the universe can be my creator. This message I receive from the Quran, and I receive the Quran from the tireless effort of the Prophet Muhammad. This person in the world served me to introduce this understanding of universe. How exciting it would be when I say salawat, welcoming his message and embracing it, on putting it on my bosom and mind and heart. I am very pleased you brought this gift of my creator to me and introduce it to me in the form of a human being, employed, but he made the effort. All the prophets in the Quran, you see that they are all struggling. Is there any Quran, is there any figure of the prophet who is very, very comfortable life? Huh? They are struggling. Why? To convey the message, the trust given to them, to convey to the human beings. Wallahu Akbar. The sweetness of the Quran, sweetness of the message lies in its detail. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Now another ayah. I think we should go ahead. Huh?
الله خالق كل شيء وهو على كل شيء وكيل.
I think here. Yeah. God is the creator of, again, the translation. All things. Generalization misses the point. So I change it here. God is the creator of, here. Now, here, let's say, all right. The creator of every single thing, all of that, with no exception. Right? Here it is. And this whole thing is hiding the reality, although literally looks correct. And God is the creator of, all right. I should have done it before. Everything, all of them, he has charge of everything. Again, the same thing. Every single moment, every single creation, he is in charge of it. So let's see. Oh, all right. I can, inshallah, bring it in. Do you see now? No. All right. No. Here it is. Now, shall we move? We talked about it.
Yeah, I think we talk about this in the previous one, yes.
Yeah. All right. This one, let's come here. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oh, again, I made a mistake. Let me see. No, I made a mistake again. I wanted to open it, but delete it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It's a very famous ayah. But of course, we will bring it in this connection that we are studying. هو الأول والآخر والظاهر وهو بكل شيء عليم. Now, what happened? أول, no, he is the first and the last, as well as he is the outer and inner. He has knowledge of all things. But when the Quran uses this, I know everything, it means at the same time, I created everything knowingly, consciously, knowing what I am doing. Now, again, Quran cannot be read for information. Allah says, I know everything. Okay, what shall I do? He knows everything. Okay. A professor comes, hey, I know everything. Oh, what shall I do? That is for you, not me. But إِلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ. Ah, is it possible otherwise? Isn't that so? The one who creates doesn't know what he is doing. So we have to see the precise knowledge, infinite knowledge in the existence of each and every being. Is it possible this molecule here, this cell in my eye, in this position, doing this duty, possible here to exist, to function, to do its job as I see it, without its creator knowing my whole body and the atmosphere I am living in? Is it possible? أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ. So when God says, I know, it means I create everything knowingly. When God says, I am merciful, it means I created everything with mercy, as a result of mercy. When the Quran says, I am eternally merciful, Rahim, Rahman is in this word. Rahim is eternally merciful, infinitely merciful. It means extending into next creation. It means, Rahim means the source of goodness. You want infinite, never-ending satisfaction in your life. This is me who can do it. I am infinitely merciful. So when I gave you this feeling that you need eternal satisfaction, you will see that in the creation I am demonstrating, showing you, my mercy is extending beyond the limitations of this universe. It is beautiful. So we have to see, we have to understand the Quran here. I am the first. What does it mean? I started the universe. I am the last. What does it mean? I will destroy the universe. I will stay there. How about in between? The beginning and end. Now we have to be careful. I am the outer. Now, what you see physically there, physically, something, for example, there is a dog barking here. So there is the dog here. Now, the dog, as it appears, you will see that it can exist only by only because its creator is the creator of the whole universe. How about the inner? It is at the same time, he is the inner. What does it mean? In its existence, you see, not the inner doesn't mean that inner digestive system of the dog. No, inner, even in the digestive system of the dog, you will see what is hidden there. Hidden what? Manifested qualities of its creator. Each being, each being. Why? Because he has knowledge of all things. He creates everything with his infinite knowledge. You have to see it. If you look at, for example, the beginning of the universe, correct. Beginning of the birth of the dog, correct. Beginning of the newly creation of the dog today, correct. Every beginning means at every stage of existence, the beginning, not only before Big Bang. This is ridiculous. Every stage of existence today. That's why Quran keeps that falak, uh, or gives the example of night. It means every change that you see. Because human beings see the change only in terms of day. Generally, you know, if there was no night and day, we would never feel that or understand, realize that the things are continuously changing practically. So I think that I was the same. I am the same as I was yesterday. I don't realize only if I see my picture on my degree when I see it. Who's this guy? I don't know. Completely different person. Well, it was I was 22 years old, I think, that time. Nothing to do with me now. So completely changed. But Allah is so merciful, creates every day, morning, noontime, afternoon, evening, afterwards, completely different word in my eye. Night, and then newly twilight in the early morning, and a new day starts again. It is inevitable not to notice the change. So at every moment, in each of the change, I have to see God is the first, God is the last, God is the outer, God is the inner side of. It means it's inner reality. The message in the existence of a cell is presented to us in this verse. This verse is amazing if you understand that the existence is continuously being changed. So in the existence of the cell, you see how much? In a second? How many? I was so shocked to hear this. In a second, tuk, tuk, how many chemical reactions happened in one cell in your body? Any guess? The chemists say, Dr. Najati,
I don't. I know many, but I don't know how many.
6,000.
Uh,
That's what I hear. I'm not a biologist. I don't understand. But what's going on in your body? Huh? How many millions of cells uh, are there? Each of them, every second, chemical reactions are going. How can you ignore the significance of this message in these actions? Is there anything meaningless? So we should be extremely careful not to put God before Big Bang and after Qiyamah, day of the doomsday. And outer, it means the whole universe. God is out of the universe. And inner, yeah, we start scratching our hand, inner, we don't know. Because this attitude destroys the message of the Quran totally. So in each action, there is an beginning, there is an end, there is outward physical appearance, and the manifested qualities of its creator in it. Can you imagine to see the world like this? So meaningful, nothing misses. That is belief.
Dr. Ali, I think this is a very, interesting point. But what we see that the educational system, when you go, will teach you all this process and says the beginning, let's say, oh, there is a seed, there is a DNA, and there are soil and water. That's the beginning of story. There's no God there. And the end, there is a fruit, and that fruit is just naturally through certain chemical reaction come out of this process. There's no God at the end as well. In the inner side, you will study the tree and find an amazing inner functioning of the tree. And then you will attribute to, again, certain causes, laws, material. No God is there. You look at the outside of the tree, is a beautiful art, an amazing shape, and is a real artifact that says, no, it does not, there is no mentioning of God there as well. So it's very, very sad that in reality, the Quran will say God is God of everything, reveal himself in everything at every stage of creating them. So in this regard, that the seed is al-awwal. So you can see him in the seed by reflecting and seeing that only him who put the whole program of the tree and what he's going to do in that small seed. Only with his infinite knowledge, he could do that. And then when you look at the fruit, al-akhir, that you say it's only him can create such desert from a muddy soil which has no connection to each other. You're going to mix the mud with the water and going to get sweet fruit? Impossible. The tree without mind could do that? It's also impossible. So in this case, it is him creating this apple or this fruit and attaching the tree. So al-akhir. Then you look at the inside the tree, it's truly amazing as you study. Oh, that is the baton. That means he is the one reveal himself to you through this amazing inner functioning of the tree. And you look at the outside of the tree, every leaf has a different shape. The tree has a beautiful design. Oh, he's the artist designing them. So in a way that basically هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن is telling us everything, like the seed, the tree, and fruit. Everything has the beginning, has the process, has the outlook, and has the end. And God is revealing himself at every stage of this. He is showing himself to us through his quality, his attribute. And I think if we can gain this perspective, that wherever you look at it, you're going to see the sign of God. Wherever you go, you're going to feel the presence of God because he reveals himself everywhere. But I think the problem when you go through this secular education, when they hide the hand of God behind us and attribute to the cause and laws and chance and the material composition, then you get lost, then you get blind, then you don't see God, then you start to look for miracle. God, if you're here, please show me a miracle. I want to believe in you. It is unbelievable. It's really unbelievable how we've been blinded and not seeing the sign in everything. Therefore, I think this is an amazing ayah. It's one of really my favorite ayah when I read and reflect on it.
Now, as you were talking, Dr. Najat, I was smiling because it reminded me very serious secret of creation. Very serious secret. God is infinitely merciful. Oh, God puts La ilaha illahu in a contrast, black and white contrast. Absolutely no creator, nothing has any quality of being a creator or creating anything, nothing, with no exception, illa wahid, ahad, tawhid, an absolute creator, black and white. Creation is the same. Dr. Najat is amazing. The dirtiest thing you can imagine, you put in the soil, put a seed, and in the soil, dirty, in a dark place. And if you put the worst thing, human and animal, not chemical fertilizer. How do you say?
Animal waste. Animal waste.
Animal waste.
Yeah.
Animal waste. Disgusting. Put there the sweetest smell is animal waste is used in contrast with the delicious taste of the fruit or vegetable. If you don't use that, the worst animal waste, it doesn't smell that nice. I was smiling, saying, God is so merciful that you cannot reduce this delicious taste and smell to animal waste. Materialist men, wake up. What are you doing? Evolved with the animal waste, evolved in the most beautiful, tasty, delicious fruit, vegetable, and the best smell. If you don't use it, nowadays you go to the, for example, flower shop, and get a bunch of flower. Does it smell anything? No, it doesn't smell anything. No, the flowers don't smell. But if you see, if you grow the flower with the animal waste, the opposite is changing. The best smell you get. Subhanallah. How merciful it is. God is, so that human beings should not be confused, should think that, look, I put misk, the fragrant perfume, like, how do you say fragrant?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. In the soil, and put the seed, and this fragrant, this smell, now I can get it. Even human being may think, this smell of the flower transformed itself into the smell of the
Fruit.
vegetable. No, not at all. Just the opposite. Subhanallah, subhanallah. I think the next.
Yeah, we have a question, Paul. Let me see. After all this long session, let's see how we're gonna get it on this poll question. So please,
Thank you. It's good.
The
answer almost, but
I think it is. But let's see. Still, it's good to hear that. So please look at this, and it's about Rububiyyah. How do you understand the created relation with the universe? as the question. The Creator designed the universe with the laws and forces that run automatically. The Creator established the laws of the universe, but occasionally intervene. The Creator directly managed everything in the universe except human affairs because of human free will. And number 4, no independent laws. What we observe as the laws are nothing but the regular patterns of the way he creates. Whatever exists, including human affairs, are created by him. Okay. Well, I think the answers after all this 3-day session, I think, become more obvious, I guess. But we get some, we get, some still choosing option 1 and 3. Yeah, what would you say, Dr. Ali, on this? I think it's very clear. Overwhelming majority choose option 4. And I think option 1 is quite common when we really look at it, how people think, how the universe function. That's how I will say, if you go through the secular education, the best you could do in terms of belief is to think, oh, the universe is an amazing clock. God just set the clock and everything running automatically. And that's I think is a form of deism, but the Quran doesn't talk in this way. As we mentioned, Quran talking about God who is actively involved in everything, every moment. And I think it's clear. Most everyone get it. Okay. So I think we are running out of time again. We're planning to cover more, but Alhamdulillah, that was I think, very good session to go deep on those verses, inshallah. So we cover today essentially that we reflect on 3 verses talking about how the Creator is involved in everything, the beginning, the end, and in every process, every stage that we can see his sign by looking at the things and say, does it takes infinite knowledge and infinite power to make that? To make a seed or to make a fruit, you must have an absolute knowledge and absolute power. So therefore, everything's in a way that tells you that my maker, my creator is the creator of everything else. So to see this and to give everything in every stage, with every component, every process, every event, to give it to the Creator, and to see the Creator as a Rabb. He's involved in everything. This is his universe. He's in charge of everything. He's running everything. He's controlling everything. To have such belief is absolutely essential in terms of establishing our relationship with him. And if it is the case, whatever we need, we'll go to him for our need. Whatever we want, we'll ask him to provide. So we become abd in a way, we submit to him because there's no other power. We seek help from him because there is no other helper. So in this case, that essentially being abd and ubudiyya make a perfect sense. It's not a matter of a test for us that we will learn and practice and get good deeds, go to Jannah. No, it is a realization and recognition and submission based on this recognition. And it makes perfect sense. What we do, it makes perfect sense. And what we see and observe make perfect sense. And life become meaningful. Everything become meaningful. And everything lead to him, and then everything connect to him. So I think that is very beautiful in Quranic verses. And that, as we mentioned, the real plots they are doing to disconnect us from the Creator. And therefore we say, problem that we have, the root cause of all problem is the connection problem. We lost connection with Creator. The reason we lost connection, because we don't use the means that are readily available to us to connect to the Creator. The universe is the means, like the phone, through which we are supposed to connect to the Creator. But when we give this to the secularist, materialist individuals, and they turn this into something else, then it becomes difficult to connect. So I think when we read, reflect on the Quran, and see the sign of the Quranic verses in the creation, we make such connection and we feel the presence of Allah. And I think that's what the joy will get it. That's how the happiness that will arise from this as a result of such connection. And that's what the Quran will say, that you can only be satisfied with Him, that no one and nothing can satisfy you. I think it has been quite clear in our journey. That is the case as we hopefully read and reflect on Quran. Thank you very much, Dr. Ali, for that. Let's end it with dua, inshallah.
Inshallah, we will start studying the other definitions of the Quran, but tomorrow we may finish all the definitions, inshallah. And then we will continue in other subject, Maqasid al-Quraniyya. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا إلى الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.
Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah, we will see you tomorrow.
Inshallah.